This is your First Alert Weather Breakdown, a deep dive into how weather works with meteorologist Evan Thomason.
Hey, welcome on into the First Alert Weather Breakdown. I'm meteorologist Evan Thomason, where we go over the weather forecast in and of its entirety. Go all over it, smother it. We essentially go in depth. Go way in depth. Essentially, you get too much weather information. That's what I'm hoping you leave here with, for those of you watching at home. Anyways, thank you for watching. I'm meteorologist Evan Thomason. Welcome on into the stream. We have lots going on for us this work week. We're pretty much all work week going to be hyping up what's going on this weekend, which is our major cold front coming in with our next widespread round of storms. I really want to emphasize that again. This is not just some pop-up storms that were expected to happen like what's been happening throughout most of summer, where we had a few storms here and there, kind of like popcorn cells. No, this is going to be a whole line of storms coming on by that's going to most likely hit everybody around the Arklatex. And as a result of being in that kind of formation, as it comes through the Arklatex, it's going to give us a chance of severe weather rolling back into the region. So that's what we really want to keep you first alert about. We went over it here yesterday. For those of you that were on yesterday, obviously we're going to go over it again here for the day today, but we're going to add more details to it. We're evolving on it. We're always looking at more details and stuff like that. So I think the newest info I have for on this podcast in particular in respect to that is going over the specific timing. Yesterday, I kind of just said the weekend, so to speak. I didn't really say a time frame, so to speak. I think we narrowed down the timing just a little bit more, and I think we have a little bit of a better understanding as to how much rainfall is going to happen, how much more widespread the severe weather risk could go into the Arklatex, those kinds of things. Those are the three things that I'm wishing to get out that are a little newer, a little more fresh here. Weather info-wise here for your First Alert Weather Breakdown here for the day today. In addition to that, we have a more lighthearted exclusive content here for the day today. We have our exclusive content always on First Alert Weather Breakdown that kind of goes beyond beyond what's going on in our local forecast, unless it is a First Alert Weather Day. If it is a First Alert Weather Day, then we'll just go all entirely into the First Alert Weather Day and the details and answer your questions in on that. But since it's not, since we still like 4 or 5, 6 days away out from getting those storms into the Arklatex, we're still talking about other exclusive content here for the day today. And today's content is what I meant to talk about yesterday, fall foliage. But again, I didn't talk about that yesterday because the report didn't come out until, it turns out it didn't come out until the early afternoon hours after the podcast time. So I was like, oh, well, I'll just switch that over to Tuesday. So it is now Tuesday. Welcome on. We're going to go over where are the fall leaves currently at. When are we expected to get our fall leaves changing here in the Arklatex? Got a good reminder of that, so to speak, in for this episode. Again, that'll be exclusive content all after. We're first going to go into the local forecast first and foremost. I know that's most important to everybody around the region. All right, first of all, if you're watching on our YouTube page as well, Christian, hello. Christian said hello on, I'm literally quoting him on our YouTube stream. Thank you for watching, Christian. Always a pleasure. If you have any questions at all, timing, details, want me to explain something maybe a little more thoroughly, feel free to always ask questions on our YouTube stream. You just type in youtube.com, you search in KSLA News 12, and our channel should pop up from there, and it should say we're live on that channel currently. Even better yet, so that you can hop on the stream and then text in that text bar in the live stream, and then, well, bam, you should be able to talk to me. Anyways, let's get going here for the day today. There's a live look out into the and mainly out into Bossier City and see Shreveport at the bottom half of your screen there, right before the Red River, as I'm getting our graphics set up, getting the station bug put away so it's not blocking my face. And here we go. We're ramping up here for the day today. So abundant sunshine, blue skies there. Same case over into Bossier. Nice, beautiful blue skies around there, too. That's fantastic to see. Also, a live look out into Texarkana is loading out for you. I mean, goes to show you we got blue skies, sunshine everywhere. We don't have much in terms of cloud cover, which means further we don't have much in terms of rain or much moisture in the air for that matter either, which, hey, is keeping our humidity levels low. That's good, especially for those you fall lovers out there who are kind of sick of these 90-degree days, which we unfortunately still have again in store here for today. But at least we start off with these cool mornings. And the reason, again, we're starting off with cool mornings is because we have clear skies. That's allowing our heat from the surface to rise away from the surface and go up and essentially escape for the most part. But it's also because of lower humidity levels. That's what I really want to get at as well. The humidity isn't really trapping as well and keeping that heat in here for our mild summer mornings. Again, we're waking up to like upper 50s, lower 60s out the door. So it's definitely more than just T-shirt and shorts for you out the door, that as you discovered over the past few mornings. That's going to carry itself on, at least through Wednesday and Thursday morning, it looks like. As for the afternoons, though, it's still very warm. I wouldn't call it summer heat, especially because the humidity isn't there at all. But, again, those temperatures are still getting up to nearly 90 degrees or at 90 degrees in a few tiny areas around the Arklatex. Now, that's all thanks to sunshine. And that, again, continues on all work week long. Then, I know most of you are here for the details on the storms. That will be coming here for this weekend. We're going to get to specific timing in just a little bit. Because, as I said earlier, I think we've really narrowed down. I wouldn't say narrowed it down completely to when it's going to come on through, but we've narrowed it down a little bit into like a specific time frame. Again, you'll see what I mean later. Anyways, temperatures. Let's go over those first. 79 in Shreveport, 75 in Texarkana, 75 in Natchitoches, 75 in Queen. These temperatures were about around this mark yesterday, around this time, in for you. So, all right, here is overall what's going on the entire grand scale of everything, weather pattern, because most of our weather is influenced by what is going on in the upper levels. If you have a high pressure system on top of us, that usually means sunshine, blue skies. Guess what? This has been tattooed to us for now the better part of 3 weeks. We're coming up on 3 weeks, 3 entire weeks, where we haven't had a cumulative rainfall at all in the Arklatex. I think we had 1, maybe 2 days of brief pop-up stray storms, but that was it. Point is, we haven't had a major system like what's coming in here for a while. Essentially, since definitely September, and now it's in the middle of October, as we currently are. This is still going to stay on top of us here for the next couple of days. But finally, and you'll see it kind of even in the Thursday night, you'll see the ridge kind of slowly trying to progress just a little bit off to the east, and then it really gets moving, especially once this low-pressure system in cold front sets itself up shop out to our west there for Thursday, and it's eventually going to finally knock out that high-pressure system. It effectively moves it. It flattens the ridge. It makes that high-pressure system weaker as it tries to go off to the east over here. And again, we're bringing a low-pressure system and a cold front on by, which is going to bring us the chance for storms, which we'll go over in a little bit. But that will also look to bring in a little bit of a dry, cooler air mass in for Sunday and next week. Now, I'm not expecting a big cool down, but at least it will change the temperatures from where we're almost stuck right now. Upper 80s, lower 90s. I'm going to sound like a broken record, by the way, all work week long with these high temperatures because they pretty much remain around this mark. Yes, all work week long. 88 in Hope, 88 for DeQueen, 88 in DeKalb, up to maybe 89 in for Texarkana. 87 in Marshall, 88 in Longview, 89 for Nacogdoches, 88 for San Augustine, 90 today in Shreveport, meanwhile, 86 in Bienville, 85 in Homer, 86 into Minden. Over the next 5 days, wow, what a variety we have. 90 degrees here today, and 90 all the way through Thursday. If anything, maybe temperatures dropping a degree or two into Friday and Saturday. But you get the point, all the way through Saturday, we are sticking around with the abundant sunshine. At least all the way through Friday, I should say. We'll talk about when the storms are exactly in just a moment. But at least through Saturday, the heat still remains. But then we get into Sunday. Sunday's the first time I think the temperatures will finally be altered just a little bit. It's not a huge drastic cool down where we're cooling down the highs by a massive like 10 to 20 degrees, but highs are at least limited into the low to mid 80s. In for the second half of the weekend on Sunday, even to Queen having a high temperature of 79. Now, as for our mornings, a little more variety actually in this category over the next 5 days. Next 2 days, temperature still nice and cool, nice and low there for Wednesday and Thursday. It's kind of the per usual, essentially. Upper 50s, lower 60s. That's what we woke up to today and yesterday. That's what we're going to wake up to here for Wednesday and Thursday. Now, essentially, whenever the humidity starts to come back a little more in time here for Friday and this weekend, that's when those mornings are going to get just a little bit more mild and a little more on the warmer side of things towards like how you typically wake up to on a summer day. where you have temperatures in the upper 60s, lower 70s. That's most of our summer mornings, and essentially, again, that's coming back here for this coming weekend. I will say, beyond Sunday, it looks like Monday and Tuesday of next week, our mornings cool right back on down a good bit. More on that in just a little bit. But now let's get into the skies for you, all right? Here for the short-term period. Again, this is short-term period. Next 3 days, looking lovely. For the rest of Tuesday, you're hanging around with abundant sunshine, blue skies. Wednesday, same thing. Beautiful. Little change into Thursday. Thursday, if you notice, the cloud cover is back, and a good bit of it as well. Looks like we'll be getting partly to mostly cloudy skies in throughout Thursday. That's from the increase of humidity. If you notice, that's clouds coming out of the south, out of the Gulf, picking up the moisture from the Gulf as well. That's going to increase our humidity, which leads into our mornings increasing their temperatures, first and foremost here for the end of this work week. But that also gives us the surge of moisture needed to provide us for our next major round of storms coming on through. This is going to be coming through. Look at that timeline under the next weather maker. Saturday afternoon to Sunday morning. That is kind of the bracket timeline I'm watching out for at this point in time. I can't get any more specific than that. I'm keeping it at that. We can get more specific in the timeline the closer we get to the weekend. It's still Tuesday, guys. We're still 5 days away. Once we definitely get into, say, like Thursday and Friday, I'm hoping to nail specific times down for specific areas. But this might even fluctuate just a little bit to include maybe a piece of Saturday morning or a piece of Sunday afternoon. But at this point in time, it does look like this is going to come through sometime between Saturday afternoon and Sunday morning. We'll show you one long-term future track of what this could look like here in just a little bit. But here's the details with the system coming on by. First of all, if you see any long-range future track containing shades of red, as you see here in the Arclitex, that doesn't mean good news at all. I mean, strong cells, strong thunderstorms trekking on through, which I really want to emphasize this second bullet point. These could bring the threats of severe weather back into the Arclitex here for this coming weekend. So watch out. Again, we're going to be updating this time and time again. Now, let's go over our long-range future track and actually track the system itself that's going to be affecting the Arclitex later on into the weekend. The system currently, as we speak on your Tuesday. In fact, before I even go into this future track, I'm going to do one thing really quick. I'm going to taper off my originally scheduled forecast to show you the current first alert Doppler radar picture. Obviously, we've got storms there in New Mexico and Texas. I'm going all the way over here because, yes, I want to show you this physical system itself. I'm going over to California. You can see the spiral of the low-pressure system. This is a low-pressure system that looks like it's centralized around San Francisco. You can kind of see the rotation of the bands of rain coming onshore. By the way, first time, real quick, California, first time they've gotten a severe thunderstorm watch in ages. They actually had 2 tornado warnings in California early this morning. It goes to show you kind of just the power of this low-pressure system itself. It's rotating in and itself across California at this point in time. That system, that very system, is the same one that's going to be affecting us and giving us our massive round of storms here later on in just a couple of days. Now, obviously, since it's in California currently, again, as we've just mentioned on the short-term future track, this is not going to be affecting us anytime soon. It's going to take some time for it to move eastward. It's going to be getting mainly on the west side of the United States here for Wednesday and Thursday, as you see there with the coverage of storms up into the Rocky Mountains. Then we get into Friday. That's when the storm coverage mainly goes through the plains, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma. Not really intensifying, really, until we get into the weekend. So here for Saturday, in fact, I'm going to remove myself so you can see the full future track here for you without my face getting in the way. It looks like the earliest this future track, and again, this can fluctuate a lot, especially because we're 5 days out. But as of right now, looks like the storms start to spark up from the heat of the afternoon on Saturday. So I'm thinking the earliest we get storms in here is Saturday afternoon. So you have any plans Saturday morning, such as a local farmer's market, I think you'll be okay for the morning hours. Then we get into the afternoon. You can see those intense red shades starting to build up, mainly in areas of the northern half of the Arclitex, kind of during the peak of the afternoon. But then we billow in kind of the most severe storms in that severe line with heavy rain right into Shreveport in the central portion of the Arclitex. It looks like, as of right now, the bullseye of the timing is Saturday night. Now, obviously, this can alter itself, definitely, since we are 5 days out. But as of right now, this is looking to come through mostly on Saturday night. Now, this will roll into the southern half of the region here for maybe Saturday late night into Sunday early morning. And then by, I think, Sunday, by the time you're definitely waking up, even in the early morning hours, I think you'll be done. And most of Sunday actually looks fairly dry. So if you got any plans on Sunday, I think those are fine. It's those Saturday afternoon and those Saturday night plans that are going to have to be on watch, essentially, and keep yourself weather aware here with that storm coverage coming on by. Now, here are just a few of the specifics we know. Obviously, there's not many specifics we know because this is still 5 days out. We we examine specific threats, specific severe weather threats, and obviously the timing of things a little closer to Saturday itself. But I do want to mention severe weather risk. It is in effect now for Shreveport. It has moved southward. The newest update from the National Weather Service in the early morning hours this morning moved that severe weather risk from just the northern half of the Arklatex yesterday for Saturday storms. Now, as of the update this morning, what I'm trying to get at is that severe weather risk has moved southward to now include the entire Arklatex, pretty much. If it doesn't include, I guess it doesn't include Nacogdoches and Natchitoches, but I think you get the point. We have the chance of severe weather, and the fact that the National Weather Service already highlighted this, first of all, yesterday, which was impressive enough, 6 days out. Now we're still 5 days out. And anytime you really see this 5 days out, it doesn't mean, again, good news here for the most part over the weekend. So, for the rainfall potential, this is giving us a healthy dose. Now, I will say this is actually good news, I think, in my regard, because right here from the shades that you see, obviously everybody's going to be getting some chance of, everybody's going to be getting storms. Everybody's going to be getting storms from that round coming through on Saturday. But it doesn't look like a hefty amount. Some of the greatest totals we are seeing in this are an inch of rain, which is still a lot in the form of 24 hours, but it's not like 2, 3, 4 inches, which is what some areas of Arkansas and areas off to our northeast could get. So we're in a drought again. About half of the Arklatex finds themselves currently under a slight drought, and that could get worse as the next drought monitor comes out on Thursday. It's not raining between now and Thursday, so essentially it's getting a little worse. So this is giving, what I'm trying to get at is the rainfall from this weekend. Much needed. That in and of itself is much needed for us in the Arklatex, especially because it's not a hefty amount. We shouldn't see much in terms of flash flooding, I think, for this weekend is what this is also trying to get at. You don't see 2, 3, 4 inches of rain on this map, which is, again, good news for us to hopefully not have issues with flash flooding in for this coming weekend. But I am expecting potential for other severe weather threats. Hail, winds, strong winds specifically, maybe even tornadic threat as well. We'll keep you first alert, obviously, about specifics when it comes to those in the days ahead. But now, let's go into our lifestyle forecast to kind of recap this up and then go into our 7-day forecast here for you. Lots of sunshine. Again, today, look at that. Today through Friday. It's pretty much the same forecast. Upper 80s, lower 90s for highs, and we got plenty of sunshine rolling us on each and every day. The clear skies at night will still be there. I think the only changes in for Thursday and Friday is, again, picking up a little bit of humidity here for the end of the work week, which could tax on a little bit on the heat. But I think you get the picture. We have no rain here all the way through Friday. Then there's that massive round of storms targeting your weekend, especially if you're looking out for those weekend plans, especially looking for a time to get out, and you still haven't planned anything yet. I would plan it on Sunday. Sunday looks fine. The 20% rain chance is there mainly for the morning hours at this point, and that's like the early morning at this point in time. Most of that round of severe weather coverage is going to be coming through on Saturday. Looks like in the afternoon as of right now, and maybe even into Saturday night. Again, we'll see. We'll keep you first alert, obviously, on this podcast and on the shows and on all of our updates the moment anything changes around, or if we can narrow down that timing a little bit more, which is what I'm hoping we could do a little bit closer to that day, too. All right. Last thing for the local forecast, just laying out the full 7 days. Next 4 days, nice and dry. Highs upper 80s, lower 90s. Cooler temperatures, especially in for Wednesday and Thursday morning. No chance of rain until that round comes through on Saturday. Again, that's when you want to make sure that you are weather aware. Sunday itself, I think, should be mostly dry as of right now. That 20% rain chance is there for the morning, just in case. If anything, but I really think Sunday afternoon at this point in time should be okay and good to go. We definitely dry out by Monday, though. And you notice the highs, 83 and 84 for Sunday and Monday. We're cooling off a little bit. I think temperatures could ramp back up. They're actually looking to be on the warmer side of things heading into, say, Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. They could get right back up into the mid to upper 80s. But I will say in our extended 12-day outlook, we're looking at maybe another cold front coming in next week that would cool us off down again. So looks like this become a little more of a repetitive pattern of rounds of widespread storms targeting areas of the Arctic. So, again, want to make sure you're weather aware. All right, I've spent a lot of time on that. Obviously, lots of details on all the severe weather coverage here for the weekend, or the potential for severe weather threat with those storms targeting your weekend. All right, let's get on. We're going to end this on more of a fun note. I have to take a commercial break next, but coming up after this, we'll have our exclusive content about the changing leaves, the fall leaves, a little more of a lighthearted note, so to speak. We'll try to do that fairly quickly because I know we usually got to get out of here around 11, so yes. All right, anyways, we'll be right back after this with just a quick note on the falling leaves and just a recap of today's episode. Stick around. Hey, welcome back to the first alert. Welcome back to the first alert with a breakdown. Again, I'm meteorologist Evan Thomas, and I appreciate you guys for sticking around here. And first of all, just for watching. Period. It's always a blessing to be able to do this for you guys always. And we always want to keep you safe, obviously, especially when it comes to severe weather, which we could have the potential for that again right around the corner. But let's end off this podcast a little bit on maybe a little lighter note, but still on the weather side of things. We're taking a look at the fall foliage. Where is it, and when can we expect maybe some fall leaves back around here in the Arctic? So I'm using my other computer here. You can see on your screen the full map of the United States. First of all, many areas changing fall leaves. If you're in this peak color, kind of the dark red, again, that's where we have peak colors of fall, which is mainly, as expected, across most areas of the north. Up in the northern spots of the region. Got some oranges, though, that are getting into some of the plains, especially into some of the middle portions of the country as well here for you. But then there's the southeast, and obviously what we want to tailor to is more of the Arctic. So, according to this map, if you're in the yellow, which many areas just off to our north are, you are starting to see just the littlest bit of color here, especially in the areas further up in Oklahoma, majority of Arkansas as well, for example, at this point in time. Now, that's been from some cooler mornings. If you're in the green, you haven't really seen anything yet. But essentially what I'm trying to get at, if I zoom into the Arctic itself, that's about our range here. It does show you, as you can see me pinpointing on my mouse here, It does show you maybe we have the littlest bit of color in areas along and north of I-30. So if you're living in Texarkana or north of there up in Idabel, listening to us from McCurtain County, maybe Little River, Howard, Sevier counties, those kind of counties there in Arkansas, it'd be interesting to get like a report or feedback from y'all to see if you've actually seen any fall trees. Maybe just the littlest bit of a change of color, change of pace, so to speak, here for you. Rest of the region, though, haven't seen anything too much yet. But the last thing I want to get into with this is the peak timing of things. When do we have the peak of the change of colors at all around here? Well, according to this map, most of it, I guess, starting to happen now in the northern edge of the Arklatex, but it looks like most of it happens in November, in the early part of November. Or, excuse me, the middle part of November for areas in the northern half of the Arklatex, mainly up by Texarkana. Central and southern portions of the Arklatex is mainly late November towards Thanksgiving. That's kind of the peak of where it can happen. We'll continue to keep you on your toes and keep you updated, essentially, when the peak of the conditions are finally actually here. You can go out and about. I love taking a drive through these kind of like scenic areas as well, so to speak. So that's all we had, essentially, on our fall foliage exclusive coverage here for the day today. Just going over those two brief things here for you. But I'm especially intrigued to see if those of you on the northern edge of the Arklatex, if you're actually seeing some of that fall foliage out there. That'd be very intriguing. That'd be pretty cool. To answer our one other comment on YouTube here for you. Christian, thank you very much for the compliment. I really do appreciate it, and always thank you for watching our stream here for KSLA News 12. All right, coming up tomorrow. Tomorrow, you should be with CJ Cartledge. I don't know what he's doing tomorrow. He should leave a surprise for me. So, yeah, CJ Cartledge should be back as your host here for tomorrow on First Alert Weather Breakdown. Obviously, he'll break down the latest of what's going on for the weekend and severe storms. We'll obviously keep you first alert about that closer we get up to that time frame. For the rest of the week, I got a couple more cool exclusive contents in for you guys. We should be able to still do our football forecast here for you on Friday, even though that's going to be the day before maybe a First Alert Weather Day. You heard it here. It might be. It is not yet. It is not yet. We're not going around promoting that yet. But obviously, when we declare something as a First Alert Weather Day, we're kind of pretty sure that we're expecting severe weather impacts here for this coming Saturday. Just so you know, between you and me behind the scenes, me and Matt have already talked about it. It hasn't been declared yet. We're still we're just thinking. We're in the thinking process of maybe considering making Saturday one of those kind of days. But that just kind of goes to show you where this is on the grand scale of things. Of what are we expecting out of this system? Period of Saturday. It does have at this point, a pretty legitimate chance of getting severe weather. So we'll keep you first alert. Obviously, today is Tuesday. Enjoy the sunshine, especially while it is here still for the next couple of days. In fact, it's here all the way pretty much through Thursday and Friday. A little more cloud cover around for Thursday and Friday, but still no rain expected up until the weekend. So you should be fine during the work week. And we got still 3 more days and 3 more weekdays. And 3 more podcasts to keep you first aware and first alert, all on that system is going to come through here for the weekend. All right, it's time for me to head out. I will see you on later. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching the First Alert Weather Breakdown. We will be back here, same place, same time again tomorrow on Wednesday, 10:30. Be there. Be square. And most importantly, stay weather aware, especially with those storms targeting us over this coming weekend. We'll have the latest for you then tomorrow. As for today, peace. See y'all later.